Good evening, everyone. So thank you for joining today. So my name is Bastien. Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Bastien, and I'm here today to, well, first, I'm the operational and outsourcing manager of Connexus. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what Connexus does in the blockchain sphere and what we can do for those of you interested to become potentially blockchain engineers. So, to start things off, let me tell you a little bit who we are, what Connexus does. So Connexus is a digital consulting company. We've been in the business for around 10 years. And we're a small international company with offices all around the world. So as you can see on the map, it highlights where we are. And we have around 60 plus digital professionals with a multi-skilled portfolio of people. And we develop ourselves in three main business units. So we have agency work, we have product development, and we also have outsourcing services. And so what Connexus does by providing these services to their clients, we always seek to include innovative solutions so that our clients can stay competitive, which is why our motto at Connexus is, stay competitive. So this brings us to why the blockchain? Why is Connexus interested in it? So blockchain is nothing new to us. We've been involved in this field for the past couple of years with some of our historical clients and some new ones. And as I mentioned earlier, Connexus has always wanted to develop innovative solutions for our partners, clients, etc. So it was only natural for us to lead ourselves to develop our expertise on the blockchain field, because blockchain is one, if not the leading innovation of the 21st century. So at Connexus, we truly believe that blockchain is a radical innovation, a technology that will revolutionize the communications, businesses, and your everyday life, basically. And how it does that, it's basically thanks to its transparency, thanks to its immutability, thanks to its decentralized approach, it's basically building the backbone of the next generation of internet. So, with this being said, if you've been living under a rock for the past year, you would have missed probably all the hype and the mainstreamness, let's call it like that, that people or the media gave to blockchain, and not only that, but also to cryptocurrencies and ICOs. And this only with the extreme growth of startup businesses involved in the blockchain and the raise of blockchain projects out there, like they pop up every day basically, has created a problem on the market, which is there's not enough skillful resources to be able to work on all these projects and all these businesses that require this skilled people. So basically, Connexus saw an opportunity to try to seek to try to resolve these bottlenecks on the market, not only by trying to come up with a program that would allow newcomers on the blockchain world, but also to nurture the training and the development growth of our own internal resources, development resources, to catch up on new innovations, new technologies to enhance their portfolio of skills. So with that being said, we created a program which is called Connexus Pioneers. So to give you a little bit of background about how Connexus Pioneers came up to be, so if you've been involved in the blockchain world as a potential candidate, you probably get everyday requests from headhunters or recruiters to come and work for worldwide projects all around the world with extremely fancy remuneration programs, et cetera, and working with very interesting projects. So not only that makes it very difficult for the market, and even more so in Poland, to try and attract skilled resources, but also it makes it so that we have to come up with solutions that make it for smaller companies like us able to afford skilled resources, basically, who can work in this field. So what we created with Connexus Pioneers is basically gathering the feedback from not only senior skilled blockchain resources that we had in-house already working on projects on our clients, but also feedback that came up from HR people, from management, and to try to focus that paradigm that we have these days to try to attract these resources, which are very hard to get. There's not many, and those who there are very costly, and to try to figure out a way to make it interesting for them to come work for us. So what is exactly Connexus Pioneer program? So what we envision for it is to be an end-to-end blockchain-based outsourcing service. This means that it envelops consulting, prototyping, R&D, app development, smart contract development, etc. Everything that you can encompass around blockchain potential services. And what we did with it is create a kind of revolutionary remuneration plan, which is throughout the transparent model. So I'm going to explain you how this works. Not in intricate details, because, as Pavel said, there's some NDAs going around, so I cannot tell everything. But the way it works, the higher idea about it is that apart from a very competitive salary remuneration that our pioneers get who on board on our program, we added a second layer, which you might call it a bonus, but that bonus is directly related to the revenue that is created from the projects where the pioneers are involved in. That means, and that's where we come with the transparent model, is that we have to be very transparent in how much revenue is generated from these services, and that we actually basically invoice to our clients. So on a monthly, yearly, quarterly basis, it depends, we actually showcase these values, these numbers, to our pioneers who are involved in their projects, and depending on their roles, and depending also on the complexity of the projects that they're involved in, we have created a kind of revenue sharing that involves employer-employee, but we understand that actually the value that is created for these blockchain projects comes from these people, the developers, who are doing the value-added work. Because we understand that management became more or less a facilitator for developers who are at the forefront of technology and driving these projects to facilitate by having commercial people or sales people trying to find blockchain projects for our pioneers to work in. So it makes it so that from the rewards that we integrate on the Pioneer program, so the ones I spoke to you about, we also have the three categories that you can see on the presentation, which are the hard, soft, and contextual rewards, which make it so that a pioneer is involved in an environment that makes it so that they feel in a comfortable environment, they work on interesting projects, and it drives an ecosystem that drives also other functioning, enabling functions in the company, like commercial, sales, and management, to get more clients to get on board this program to sell these resources. So another very important part of our Pioneer program is our custom training program, which is based on the different roles that we involve in it, but also the body plan. So the body plan is basically a mentoring or coaching that you get when you get onboarded, as we will see it later on in detail on another slide. But when you get onboarded as a full stack developer without blockchain experience, you get assigned a buddy, in this case a mentor, who is a senior person from our team. This case could be Pavel. And he'll be able to mentor the newcomers to learn and develop and nurture their training path to be deployed on blockchain projects. So here I just highlighting some of the profiles that we usually look for to expand or to get on board on the Pioneers program. So the main ones are blockchain core engineers, whether they're junior, regular, or senior. Senior, of course, much harder to get. Smart contract developers and auditors, front-end developers and UI UX experts who are also support roles for all the blockchain activities that we develop for our clients. And last, but blockchain business consultants, which allow our management to, and our salespeople to approach companies who might be interested to get involved and leverage the blockchain for their businesses. So some of the technologies that we work with and that we have on our portfolio of resources, I've highlighted in bold some of the main ones that we usually seek for. So Ethereum experience, Go, language, JavaScript, Solidity, and Truffle, basically. All of the others are as important, but they can come part of support functions and other things revolving around the Pioneers program. So this brings us to basically the training solutions, which is a very important part of the Pioneer program, because what we want to achieve with our internal training program is basically, like I said before, on the bottlenecks of the job market, is to try to enable full-stack developers who don't have the experience on working on blockchain projects to get onboarded and learn internally with hands-on expertise from our senior developers, senior blockchain engineers, how to work on blockchain projects, not only from current partnerships that we have, but for future partnerships, because this would enable us to be out there on the market and say that we have resources that can work on projects for businesses, for new clients. And how do we do this? I mean, it also came up because we know that lessons and trainings out there, whether it's on internet or whether it's on the community, are scarce and costly. And also, if you learn them on your own, you know, you need to seek feedback from the community. You never know if you're learning the right way or not. Here you actually in the body program and you're mentored by somebody who's right there or in the same office internationally in Connexus and helping you develop your learning growth. And so what happens right now, we're working on developing this training program internally. We have pilot program that we're running from our Polish office with our development team in Argentina, which will help us to gather feedback on all the materials that we've built, or that our senior people have built. And we'll be able to release potentially on the second quarter of 2018. Some of you might know that universities are still trying to play catch up on potential postgraduate studies, at least in Poland. I've heard that in the fall of 2018, something will get released out there. It's kind of costly, 8K a year, but you don't really know what's going to be if they're really preparing a program that's really supporting you and giving you that hands-on approach to work on actual live projects. So it might be a difference that you might see from the theoretical to the practical part. And what happens with this? So this, basically all this creates an ecosystem, a business ecosystem where, like I said, we try to solve the scarcity of resources by bringing on board people with less experience. We try to train them, try to onboard them, try to make them develop, to be fully capable to work and deployed on live blockchain projects. And this also enables our internal teams to work hard to try to find new clients and upscale the current contracts that we have by selling these resources to them. So some of our success cases with our initiatives that we've been able to implement. Some of you might recognize some of our external projects or external partners that we've directly been involved with, whether that is consulting, whether that is outsourcing, whether that is development. So we have Slockit, basically tokenizing every possible smart objects out there. They basically want to allow you to rent, sell, or share anything that's connected on the blockchain as a smart object. We have Maker, who have built the DAI stablecoin on top of the Ethereum network. And we have DigixDAO, who basically tokenized gold on the Ethereum network. So we've had the privilege of working with these partners for the past years, and that has allowed to grow our expertise in the blockchain field, but also to be able to grow internally our own resources and to develop them into something that is very interesting for them to develop in this innovation. And that also enabled us to get interest in getting involved in our own internal IP, which is what Pavel spoke earlier, which is entitled. So we're pretty excited that we have our upcoming ICO coming up pretty soon. So we're hoping that it will be a successful one. And with all this, some of the milestones that we want to achieve through our Pioneer program, and hopefully for those of you who are interested to know more about it. Like I just said, our successful entitled ICO that will allow us for the long-term development of the platform, but also the expansion of the core team who will keep on working on this project and keep on improving it with new functionalities. The second is, of course, as I said, the expansion of the client portfolio that we have under the Blockchain Pioneers umbrella. The more resources we can train, the more resources that we can put out there and to resolve all the conflicts of the job market. Smart contract app development services expertise to be able to build and audit more complex smart contracts, or to be able to support businesses out there who have that need to implement smart contracts for their everyday business needs. And blockchain consulting and ICO support, basically, because like I said, we're involved in one now, and we've been involved with partners who have done their own, and that gives us the expertise or the experience for other businesses who might be interested in getting involved in the blockchain world on how to do things, the do's and the don'ts, because you learn a lot about the don'ts. There's not a perfect manual about how to do an ICO or build a blockchain project. So it's invaluable feedback that we can give back to potential customers who might be interested in it. So all this being said, we invite you to contact us, to visit our website, to send us an email, or to simply come visit our office here in Krakow. You can get to learn more about our Pioneer program and other programs that we have at Connexus, and you can become the next blockchain engineer in our team. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a good evening.